In this video, I will solve number of questions on real numbers. There are various types of problems that could be asked in real numbers. So first, I will solve questions based on LCM and GCF finding out. The second type of problems will be based on rational and irrational numbers. The third type of problems will be based on the decimal expansion. Then fourth type will be based on divisibility by least number and the highest factor. The fifth one is to find the prime factors. Sixth one based on Euclid's division, and the seventh type of problem will be in general. So these are the types of problems we will solve in one shot. In this section, we will find out how to find LCM and GCF. Here are some examples. The first example is you have to find LCM of 2 raised to 3 into 3 raised to 2 and 2 raised to 2 into 3 raised to 3. LCM is now you have to take the highest power. So 2 raised to 3 and 2 raised to 2. 2 raised to 2 is the highest power. So it is 2 raised to 2. And then among these 3 raised to 2 and 3 raised to 3, highest power is 3 raised to 3. So multiplied by 3 raised to 3. And the correct answer over here is option C. Question number 2. LCM of the given number x and y, where y is multiple of x, is given by. Now here let us take an example. 2 is a number and its multiple, if I take for example, is 8. 2 for the 8, its multiple is 8. Then what is the LCM of this? We can find out like this, or we can find out by factor method. 2 is equal to 2 and 8 is equal to 2 cube, and we take the highest power of 2. So this is LCM is equal to 2 raised to 3, which is equal to 8. And you see here the 8 is the highest number among the two, and highest number is multiple of the other number. So here x and y are the numbers and y is multiple, so y is higher. So our answer here is therefore y. And the next question is, we have to find LCM of this number. So here this is given as 2 raised to 3 and 3 raised to 2. Here 2 raised to 2 and 3 raised to 3. Among 2 raised to the power, we take the highest one, that is 2 raised to 3, multiplied by, and among this we again take 3 raised to 3, which is the highest power of 3. And the correct answer here is option C. Let us move to the question number 4. Two natural numbers whose sum is 85 and the least common multiple is 102. So here the sum 30 plus 55, this sum is equal to 85, whereas 51 plus 34, this is also 85, whereas 35 and 55, this becomes 90, so this cannot be the answer. And 17 plus 68, this sum is becoming 85. And common multiple is 102. So let us check. We'll take the example D first. So we have got 51, which is equal to 17 into 3, that 17 and 3 are the prime factors or the prime numbers, and then we will take 34. 34 is 17 into 2. So here 17 and 2 both are prime factors or prime numbers. So therefore the two natural numbers whose sum is this and the least common multiple is 17. The least common multiple becomes 17, and therefore the correct option is option D. Question number 5. HCF of 26 and 91 is, you have to find HCF of these two numbers 26 and 91, and in finding the HCF you have to take the least common multiple. So let us take 26 and write its prime factors. This will be equal to 2 into 13, and then 91 again it will be 7 multiplied by 13. So you see here common are 13. So HCF is the common number 13. So here B is the option. In this section we will solve the problems of identifying rational or irrational numbers. The question number 6 here. The product of a rational and irrational number is rational, irrational, both of the above or none of the above. Let us try this with an example. Let me take the one rational number and another irrational number. Let's say 5 is a rational number and multiplied by root 2, it is an irrational number. So this will be 5 root 2, and when one of the factor is root, then it is irrational number, and therefore root 2 here is irrational number, and the correct answer is irrational. The product of rational and irrational number become irrational number. Let us go to the next question here, and the next question is question number 7 here. The sum of a rational and irrational number is. So whether it is sum or product, you have to see if irrational number is there inside, then it is overall it is a irrational number. For example, if I write 5 and add it with irrational number, let's say root 2, the whole number becomes an irrational number, and therefore the correct answer is option B. The next question, question number 8 here. The product of two different irrational numbers is always. Now two different irrational numbers, product. So for that, let me take one example. Let us take the product of root 2 multiplied by root 3. This will be equal to root of 3 multiplied by 2, that is equal to root 6. And root 6 is irrational number. Therefore, product of two different irrational numbers is always irrational. So why it is said two different irrational numbers? Root 2 and root 3, these are two different irrational numbers. But if you take the product of same irrational numbers, for example, root of 3 multiplied by root of 3, this will be equal to 3, and this is rational number. So that is why in the problem given that product of two different irrational numbers and not the same irrational numbers. If the product of same irrational numbers is there, then it becomes a rational number. Let's go to the next one. The next question is here. The sum of two irrational numbers is always, again same answer here. So root of 5, let us take, plus root of 3. Here both these are irrational numbers, and their sum will also become irrational number. So A is the correct option. Next question is like this. In the next question, the product of a non-zero rational number, one is given a rational number which is non-zero. If it was 0, then the whole thing would have become 0. So that's why it is said non-zero rational number. And an irrational number. Now here, let's take a non-zero rational number as 5 multiplied by a rational number, let me take as 6. So this will be 5 root 6. And in this there is root, and therefore it is irrational number, always irrational number. So correct option is option C. Let's go to the next question. The next question is here. This number is given and you have to find whether it is rational or irrational or a natural number or an integer. See, this is 6, this is 4. 6 minus 4 will be equal to 2, and this is plus 5 root 3, and this minus into minus will become plus 3 root 3. And further I can simplify this as 2 plus, I can take root 3 common, and this will be 5 plus 3. So further this can be written as 2 plus this 5 plus 3 is 8 root 3. In the final expression we have still got root under 3. So therefore this becomes an irrational number. So option B is the correct option. Let us move to the next question. In the next question, which of the following is not irrational? So we will try to find out which one is not irrational. So 3 plus root 7, there is root 7 in this expression. So it is a irrational number. This is the irrational number. We want to find out which is irrational number. And then 3 minus root 7 again, it is an irrational number. And 3 root 7 is again irrational number because root is there. And then option C is remaining. So let us find out how much this is. So this is of the type A plus B into A minus B. And we have got A plus B into A minus B is equal to A square minus B square. Same thing we will apply over here. So this will be 3 square minus root of 7 square. So this will be 9 and this will be minus 7. 9 minus 7 works out to be 2, and 2 is rational number. So which is not irrational? So this is not irrational. So this is not irrational. And next, question number 13. If P and Q are integers and is represented in the form of P by Q, then it is, now you should remember by definition, P by Q, where Q is not equal to 0, is a rational number by definition. So here P by Q, provided Q is not equal to 0, this is a definition of rational number. So then it is the rational number. So B is the correct option. Next question, question number 14. The sum or difference of two irrational numbers is always, again, it is irrational number. And the correct answer is option B. It is irrational number. Question number 15. Pi minus 22 upon 7 is rational, irrational, prime number or even number. Now first of all, you should remember in this chapter that numbers like pi, e, these are irrational numbers. And which are irrational numbers? Which have got the decimal points which are unending. So like that, pi and e is irrational number. And then 22 upon 7. What is this 22 upon 7? 22 upon 7 actually we take approximate value of pi. It is not an exact value of pi. So this works out as 3.14285614 and it is ending over there. So this becomes rational number. This is a rational number, whereas pi is irrational number. And therefore pi minus 22 upon 7, overall the number is irrational. And therefore option B is the correct option. Let's go to the next question. Question number 16. Which of the following is not irrational? You see here this is irrational. Second one is also irrational because root is there in it. And third one, let us check. Fourth one will be again irrational number. And this is of the type a square minus b square. So a plus b or a minus b into a plus b. This is equal to a square minus b square. And when we do a square is root 2, b square is root 3. That root sign on both the numbers goes, and so the number becomes rational and it is not irrational. So the option C is the correct option. Then question is here. The number pi is, as I have already told in the previous discussion, that pi is irrational number because it is unending. It is not ending with some certain decimal points. It is unending. So therefore, the correct answer for this, it is irrational number. In this section, we will solve some questions based on decimal expansion. And we have got two types. One is terminating decimals and the second one is non-terminating. In terminating type, we have got the number like this. Let's say 5213 divided by 2 raised to n into 5 raised to n. If such a number is there where m and n may be different or same, if such number is there, then it is terminating. It has got terminating decimal points. Or finally, it should be of the form 5213 multiplied by some number, let's say x, divided by 10 raised to n, where n can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So if we can reduce the given number to the tune of 10 raised to n, then we can say that the decimal points are terminating. What about non-terminating? In non-terminating, we have got two types. One is non-terminating but recurring. So these are recurring type, and the second types are also non-terminating but they are non-recurring. They are non-recurring. That is what? In recurring, the numbers will be repeated after a certain cycle and it will not get terminated. In non-repeating, they are not getting repeated after certain cycles. So here, if you cannot express it in this form, then it is non-terminating. So one should know that if you are not able to express in terms of like this, that is 10 raised to n or 2 raised to m into 5 raised to n, then they are non-terminating. So you will be asked questions based on terminating or non-terminating. So let us solve some questions over here. Question number 18 here. The decimal form of 129. So let me write this. 129 divided by 2 raised to 5, 5 raised to 7 into 7 raised to 5. Now these can be made of the type 10 raised to x, but this 7 raised to 5 remains. So let me tell you here, this is 125 and this is 2 raised to 5. I will multiply it by 2 raised to 2 to make it 2 raised to 7, because here we have got 2 raised to 7. Multiplied by, of course, 7 raised to 5, it is there. So this will be 125 divided by 2 raised to 7, 5 raised to 7 into 7 raised to 5. Now this further I can write as 125. Now here 2 into 5 raised to 7 into 7 raised to 5, it will be there. If I write this further, this will be 125 upon 5 into 2 is 10, 10 raised to 7 into 7 raised to 5. So this is coming of the type 10 raised to 7, but there is multiple of 7 here, there. So it is not of the type in the denominator 10 raised to n type, because there is some more number in the denominator. So therefore it is non-terminating. It is non-terminating. So here the correct option, let's see. Correct option is option B over here. So let us go to the next question. The decimal expansion of the rational number 14587 divided by 250 will terminate after. So for finding how many points it will terminate after a decimal point, for that we have to express the denominator into 10 raised to n type. So let us try to express this into 10 raised to n type. So the number is 14587 divided by 250. Let me take this up. So here denominator you have to make it as 10 raised to n. So for that I can multiply it by 4. If I multiply this by 4, this will be 14587 divided by 250 multiplied by 4. 250 multiplied by 4 will become 1000. Of course, while I multiply denominator by 5, numerator I also have to multiply it by 5 to balance the given number. So that this will be 14587 into 4 divided by 1000. Now this is of the form 10 raised to 3. So 14587 into 4. Now if I remove this, I have to shift 3 decimal points towards the left. So 1, 2, 3, and 3 decimal points are like this, and therefore 1 decimal place is wrong, 2 decimal places are also wrong, and the correct option is 3 decimal places. So this is the correct option. Let's move to the next. Now, decimal expansion of the rational number will terminate after how many decimal points? Again, same question. We have to express the denominator into 10 raised to n type, and depending upon the number on the index, you can very well tell how many decimal places it is getting terminated. So let me start with this. My number is 97 divided by 2 raised to 5 raised to 4, and this is of the type 2 raised to m into 5 raised to m. So these further I will convert by writing 97, and this 2 is multiplied by 2 raised to 3 because we want to raise the power from 1 to 4, because 5 has got power 4. So of course multiplied by 5 raised to 4, and to balance this I also multiply numerator by 2 raised to 3. So further this I can write as 97 divided by 8, and this will be 2 raised to 4 into 5 raised to 4. So this will be 97 into 8 divided by 10 raised to 4, and when we see it is 10 raised to 4, we have to shift 4 decimal points towards the left. So it will terminate at 4 decimal places. So B is the correct option. So if you want to find out every time the how many decimal places, then you have to express into 10 raised to n. Numerator you need not multiply it, because from this power we can know that how many decimal points to be shifted. So numerator you don't try to simplify or expand or multiply. Keep as it is, because that will save the time. The next question. The next question is the decimal expansion of 22 upon 7 is. So let us try this. So 22 upon 7, this can be tried as 22 divided by 7, and you may be thinking 22 upon 7 is the value of pi. It is the approximate value of pi and not the exact value, because pi value is not terminating. So we are approximating it by writing 22 upon 7 or 3.14. So when you divide this, you will find that this will turn out to be 3.14285714, and it is getting terminated over here. So this is terminating. As I have told you, this value is 3.14285714. When you continue this division process, you will find this value is like this. So it is terminating. So non-terminating is wrong, none of the above is wrong, non-terminating and non-repeating, that is wrong. And the correct option is A. The decimal expansion. Let's solve this question. This is 23 divided by 2 raised to 2 into 5. This is 2 raised to m multiplied by 5 raised to n time. Now, this further I can simplify. This is 23, 2 raised to 2 multiplied by 5. So I will multiply by 1 more 5. And so numerator also I will multiply it by 5. So this will be 23 into 5. And this will be 2 square multiplied by 5 square. So again this is 23 into 5, 10 raised to 2. So how many decimal points you have to shift it? You have to shift it 2 decimal points. So the correct option over here is option B. Let's move to the next one. The decimal expansion of 17 by 8 will terminate after how many places of decimals? So here you can start dividing 17 by 8. So 17 divided by 8. You can continue doing this. So this will be 8 to the 16 and 1 will be there. So 8 on the 8 and there will be 2 over here and 20, 8 to the 16. So there will be 4 and 0, 8 5 the 40. So it is 2.125. So it will terminate after 3 decimal points. This will terminate after 3 decimal points. So let's see the next question. Here decimal expansion of the number 441 divided by 2 raised to 2 into 5 raised to 3 into 7. So let me write this expression first over here. So it is 441 divided by 2 raised to 2, 5 raised to 3 into 7. So this expression I can write this 441. I can write 9 into 49. It will become 449. So I try to search 49 because 49 is 7 square. And when 7 square is there, this is 2 raised to m into 5 raised to m. These are required. But 7 is not required. Somehow we have to remove the 7. So for that I have searched for 49. So we are getting 49 over here. So this will be 2 raised to 2, 5 raised to 3 into 7. And further this can be written as 9 into 7 square. This will be 2 raised to 2, 5 raised to 3 into 7. And this 1 7 and this 1 7 will go. Further, this can be simplified in this fashion. So you see here, this will be 9 into 7 and this will be 2 raised to 3. I will make this as 2 raised to 3 into 5 raised to 3. And 1 power I have raised, so I have to multiply it here by 2. So this will be further as whatever is there on top. So I will write 9 into 14 divided by 10 raised to 3. And now you see we can shift to 3 decimal points. So it is getting terminated after 3 decimal points. And now let us check terminating after 2 decimal places, but our is terminating after 3 decimal places. So this D is not a correct option. Non-terminating, of course it is not there. It is terminating decimal. So option is option A. So let us move to the next part. In this question, again you are asked by how many points it will get terminated. So let me begin with writing this number. 6243 divided by 2 raised to 2 into 5 raised to 4. So I have to raise power of 2 from 2 to 4. So this can be written as 6243, and this I will make 2 raised to 4, and to balance I will multiply by 2 square. Of course this is multiplied by 5 raised to 4, and further this will be 6243 into 4 divided by, this will be 10 raised to 4. This is 10 raised to 4. And with this we can now see that it is terminating after 4 decimal points. So 4 places of decimal. So A is the correct option. And now let us go to the next question here. Here the decimal expansion of rational number, this is a rational number, will terminate after. So let us write this number first and carry on further operations. 14587 divided by 1250. Now this number, numerator as it is 14587, this number I will convert into 2 into 625. 2 into 625 will be 1250. So this further I can write as 14587 divided by 2 raised to 1, of course it is there, and this will be 5 raised to 3, because 5 are 25, 5 into 25 will be 125, 125 multiplied by 5 will be 625. So it is 5 raised to 4 and not 5 raised to 3. Now further this can be written as 14587 divided by, I will raise this power into 2 raised to 4. From 1 I raised to 4. So for that I multiplied by 2 raised to 3, that is 8. And of course this is 5 raised to 4. This further I can write as equal to 14587 into 8 divided by 10 raised to 4. And now we see here we have to shift towards the left for 4 decimal points, and the correct answer is 4 decimal places. So it is D. In this section, we will solve problems based on this formula, that is LCM into LCF is equal to A into B. Let us say A and B are the two numbers whose LCM and LCF are given. So let me write this. Formula is like this. Let A and B are two numbers. Then we can write LCM of A and B multiplied by LCF of A and B. This is given as A multiplied by B. B This formula you have to remember and use in solving such questions. So let us go with the question number 27. Here question is like this. Here HCF is given as 8. So HCF is equal to 8. LCM is given as 48. Then A is equal to 16 and B is equal to Y. So we have to find Y. The value of Y is, so for that I will write the formula. It is like this: HCF into LCM, that is equal to A into B. Now this is 8 multiplied by 48. This is 16y, and y I will keep on one side and transfer 16 on the other side, that will come in the denominator divided by 16. So 8 into 48, and this will be multiplied by 3, and this will become 24. 8 is a 24, and the correct option is option A. So you see, by using the formula, this one, you can calculate the second number. Let's go to the next question. Next question here is like this. Here again, LCM is given. This is LCM, and you are asked to find the HCF. So this is A and this is B. So let us write the formula and try to find out the HCF. So our formula is LCM into HCF, that is equal to A into B. Now LCM is given as equal to 693 multiplied by HCF. This is 77 multiplied by 9. We can write HCF is equal to 77 multiplied by 99 divided by 693. This gets cut with 7 and this gets cut with 11. So our HCF is equal to 11, and the correct option is option A. Next, question number 29. For any two positive integers A and B, HCF multiplied by LCM, this should be equal to A cross B, or A multiplied by B. This is A multiplied by B, and therefore the correct option is option D. This is given directly a formula. Question number 30 is like this. If HCF is 12, and now here HCF is given as 12 and A cross B is given, then LCM is asked. So again same formula, LCM into HCF, that is equal to A multiplied by B. LCM is asked, so LCM multiplied by HCF, that is 12, that is equal to 1800. So LCM is equal to 1800 divided by 12. So this will work out as 150. It will work out as 150, and therefore the correct answer is option C. Question number 31. Given LCM is equal to 182 and you are asked to calculate LCF. So this is A and this is B. So we can write LCM into HCF, that is equal to A into B. Now here LCM is given as 182. LCF you have to find out. This will be equal to 91 multiplied by 26. So therefore HCF can be calculated as 91 into 26 divided by 182. This gets cut by 2 and this gets cut by 13. So HCF is equal to 13 and A is the correct option. Let us go to the next question. Here if A and B, this is B and not 6, are two positive numbers and H and L are their HCF and LCM respectively, then L multiplied by H, these are the two LCM. So L multiplied by H and two numbers are A and B, A multiplied by B and these two are equal. So this is our formula. So option A is the correct option. Here next, the HCF and LCM of two numbers are 33 and 264. So here LCM is equal to 33 and HCF is equal to 264. These two things are given. Then the first number is completely divided by 2 and the quotient is 33. So let A be the first number. So A is completely divided by 2. That means there is no remainder. If there is no remainder, then quotient is equal to 33. So I can calculate A is equal to 33 into 2, that is equal to 66. Now we know A and we have to find the other number, that is B. So straight away use the formula. So the formula is like this. LCM into HCF is equal to 33 into B. We are interested in finding B. LCM is 33, HCF is 264, that is equal to 33 into B. So we are interested in finding B. So by cross multiplication, B is equal to 33 into 264 divided by 33. A is not 33, it is 66. So this is 66. So this is also 66. So here it gets cut with 2 and this gets cut with 1, 3, 4 and 1, 3, 2 it is 1, 3, 2 and the correct option here is option C, that is 1, 3, 2. The other number is 1, 3, 2. In this section we will see divisibility by least number and the largest number. Both these type of problems we will solve in this. Question number 31. Which number is divisible by 11? So you can see each number divided by 11 and see which is divisible. So I will take B 1452. 1452 divided by 11. So here 11 1 the 11, remainder is 3 and I take 5, 11 3 the 33 and the remainder is 2, I take 2 over here. So 11 2 the 22. So this is 0, 0, 0. So here we are getting remainder as 0. So therefore this 1452 number is divisible by 11. So the option is option B. Let's move to the next question. The next question you try to understand carefully. Here the largest number that will divide 398, 436 and 542, leaving remainder the 7, 11 and 15 respectively is. So here we are asked largest number. So we have to find the HCF. So HCF which number? Not direct 398 and 436 number. After removing the remainder. So let us do that and you will understand better. So here, let us take the three numbers, 398, 436 and 542. From this we have to remove the remainders. So this is minus 7, this is minus 11, this is minus 15. So this will be equal to 391 and the second number will be equal to 425 and the third number will be 5. So here it is 7 and here it is 2 and 5. So 527. So these numbers you make it into prime factors. So here this will be 17 multiplied by 23. It works out as 391. And here this will be 17 multiplied by 25. And is 25 prime number? No. So we have to further write this as 17 into 5 square because 5 is the prime number. The next one is we can write this as 17 into 31 which works out as 527. And 17 and 31 is the prime number. And for finding the largest number, that will divide these three numbers by removing the remainders. You can find out the HCF, and in HCF you find the common factor, and common factor in these three is 7. So 17 is the answer. So option A is the correct option, that is 17. Let's see the next question. The next question is on the similar line, the largest number which divides 60 and 75. Now we are having two numbers, one is 60, another one is 75. Leaving remainders as 8 and 10. This is minus 8 and this is minus 10. So this will be 65 and this will be 52. And these 52 and 65, first we will write the prime factors and then find HCF. Why HCF? Because largest number is asked. If the least number is asked, you have to find LCM. So here this can be written as 13 into 4, this can be written as 13 into 5. And you see here, common is 13. So HCF is equal to 13. And 13 will be the largest number which divides the 60 and 75, leaving 8 and 10 respectively as the remainders. So here the correct option is option D. Let's move to the next question. The next question is, now we are finding least number. We are finding the least number. So least number that is divisible by all numbers from 1 to 5, both inclusive. So let us write this 1 first, and 1 will be equal to 1, 2 will be equal to 2, 3 will be equal to 3, because we want to see whether the answers on the right hand side are prime or not. So 2 is prime, 3 is prime. 4 can be written as 2 square because 2 is prime. 5 can be written as 5 because 5 is prime. So for finding the least number, you have to find the LCM. LCM is equal to 2. There are two things. One is 2 and another one is 2 square. So you have to take that 2 which is having the highest degree. So this is 2 square. And then you have to take 3 and 5. So multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5, this will be 4 into 3 into 5, which works out as equal to 60. And the correct option here is option B. With this, let us go to the next question. So here again, the least number that is divisible by the number from 1 to 8. We have seen for number from 1 to 5. Let us extend this discussion for up to 8 instead of 5. So let us do that. Here 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 2, 3 is equal to 3, 4 is equal to 2 square, 5 is equal to 5, 6 is equal to 2 into 3, and 7 is equal to 7 because 7 is a prime factor or a prime number, and 8 is equal to 2 cube. Now in this is 2, this is 2 square and this is 2 cube. So we want to find LCM. LCM will be the highest power of that number. Highest power of 2 is 3. So 2 is to 3, and then 3 is there here and here. So multiplied by 3, there is 5. Multiplied by 5. So 5 is taken care, this 2 is taken care, and what remains is 7. So multiply by 7. So this will be 8 into 3 into 5 into 7. When you multiply all this, it works out to be 840. So option A is the correct option over here. Next, when a number is divided by 7, its remainder is always greater than 7, at least 7, less than 7, or at most 7. So to do that, we will take practical examples. I will write over here number and remainder. So number, let me take 7. So 7 by 7 will give you remainder as 0. Then I will take 8. 8 by 7 will leave remainder as equal to 1. Then 9. 9 by 7 remainder 2. 10. 10 by 7 remainder 3. 11. 11 by 7 remainder 4, and so on. It will be 5 for 12, 13 it is 6, and 14 it is 0, because 14 divided by 7 will leave remainder as 0, and then again it will start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will come to 6, again it will become 0, and this will go on repeating. So you see here, so maximum remainder can be 6 and minimum 0. So accordingly we will select the option. It is not greater than 7. So first option is wrong. At least 7. So here nowhere 7 remainder occurs. Then less than 7. Yes, it is less than 7, which is starting from 6, then 5, 4, and so on. At most 7. There is no 7 over here. So the correct option is option C. Then next question is like this: the largest number. Now again we are trying to find out the largest number. So that means we will have to find the LCM, which divides 70 and 125. So the numbers are 70 and 125. They are giving remainders as 5 and 8. So this is 5 and this is 8. So this will be 65 and this will be 117. So we will have to find the prime factors of this. So here this will be 13 multiplied by 5, and this will be 13 multiplied by 9. 9 is 3 square. So to find LCM, we have to find the number that is common in both, or factor that is common in both the numbers. And factor that is common in both the numbers is 13. And option A is the correct option here. So let us go to the next question here. Again here we are coming to the least number, so we have to find the LCM. So from 1 to 10. So again we will repeat the procedure. So for 1 is equal to 1, 2 equal to 2, 3 is equal to 3, 4 is equal to 2 square, 5 is equal to 5, 6 is equal to 2 into 3, 7 is equal to 7, 8 is equal to 2 cube, and 9 is equal to 3 square, and 10 is equal to 5 into 2 or 2 into 5. So we will find the LCM of all this. That will be among 2. You see here this there is 2 square and there is also 2 cube. So we will take the highest power of 2, that is 2 cube. And then 3 is here and 3 square is here. So we will take the highest power, that is 3 square. And then this is over 5 multiplied by 5. 2 and 3 both over 7. So multiply by 7. Here 2 cube is over, 3 cube is over, and 2 and 5 both are over. And if you calculate this will work out as 2520. 2520. And therefore option B is the correct option. In this section, we will find out how to find the primes of a given number. This is a question. Express 98 as product of its prime. So you have to take the number 98 and this can be written as 2 into 49. Further, this can be written as 2 into 7 into 7. That is because 2 and 7 are prime numbers. So finally this will lead to 2 multiplied by 7 square. And the correct option here will be option C. In this section, we will study Euclid's lemma problems. So this is the question. Euclid division lemma states that for two positive integers a and b, there exist unique integers q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r, where r must satisfy. Which relation should satisfy the r? R is what? R is remainder, and remainder can be 0 or it can be greater than 0, but it should be always less than its divisor. When we see the division algorithm, we will always stop the division algorithm at which point? We always stop at the point when the degree of remainder becomes less than the degree of the divisor. So it should be less than b. This is b over here, and therefore, and this is quotient, and therefore it should be less than b, and it should be greater than or equal to 0, and therefore D is the correct option. Question number 44. Using Euclid's division algorithm, the HCF of 231 and 396 is. Now, first, as per Euclid, you have to take the bigger number. So let me take the bigger number here. So 396 is the bigger number, and these you have to write in terms of 231 multiplied by 1, and when we minus this will be like 6 minus 1 is 5, 9 minus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So the remainder is 165. Now we have to write this 231 in terms of multiple of 165. So this will be 165 multiplied by 1, and the remainder of this will be 6, and this is also 6. So remainder of this is 66. Then next you start with 165. 165 can be written as 66 into 2, and the remainder will be 33. Now this 66 I can write is equal to 33 into 2, and the remainder will be 0. So you will have to stop at the point where you get remainder equal to 0. And you have to take that number where remainder is 0 and that number is 33. So here HCF is equal to 33. In this section we will solve a general question. The product of two consecutive natural numbers is always. Now let us take, for example, two consecutive natural numbers. So the two consecutive natural numbers let me take as 2 into 3. So the product of this is 6. Let us take 3 into 4. The product of this is 12. And so on. You will find the product is always even. So even number is the correct option. Odd number is wrong. Even or odd, that is also wrong, and prime number is also wrong. So these 6, 12 are not prime numbers. The value of x and y is given in the figure. Here x will be 7 into 3. So factors of x will be 7 into 3. That should be 21. So x should be equal to 7 into 3, that is 21. And if this is 21, what is y? Y will be equal to 21 multiplied by 4. So 21 multiplied by 4, this will be equal to 84. So x is 21 and y is 84. B is the correct option.